All right, welcome to another episode of the WMAKP. We are on episode 12. Yes, I don't know, something like that. And today's topic is how martial arts as a whole can help you in life, whether it's physical, whether it's mental, whether it's even spiritual. So a lot of cool things to break down here today. I don't know how many people out there are, martial artists, whether it's Taekwondo, whether it's Kempo, whether it's karate, Jiu-Jitsu.
I mean, it's just martial arts in general,
It's martial arts.
It's the movement of the body that really helps, health-wise. That's, you need 60 minutes of exercise per day.
That's what they say. That's what they say. So
and,
physically, right?
Yeah.
It's just exercise as a whole is what a human needs.
Yeah.
You have to move the body, not just walking, but you have to have 60 minutes of exercise.
And someone like me, and you, I guess now, broken.
We are broken.
Broken incredibly. So, we can't go out there, put the football gear on, and go do our 60 minutes of workout in football.
God.
Pro football. No, we can't do that. We're way too broken.
I would love to see how fast a pro football player is, though. A wide receiver or a running back. I'd love to see how fast they are.
But we find other ways to get that.
There's definitely different ways.
Gym and stuff like that. And that's a way. Of course, sports, like I just said. Casual running. My folks do that. A little bit of running. 6 times a week, which is a lot. But the way we decide to do it, I wouldn't say this is our always the way to do it. It's martial arts. It's sometimes very graceful, sometimes not really.
It's like what Bruce Lee would say, flow like water. I think it goes, become the pot, become the teapot, and then it could crash or it can flow. Karate is the same way, hard but soft, especially in our style, hard but soft.
Yep.
So I think martial arts as a whole, I mean, the things you have to do physically is very different than other sports as well. And, you can't compare all the sports like they're one sport. Yeah. Every single sport moves the muscles differently. And in karate as well, we move muscles differently than maybe, football players will.
So funny you bring that up. We were watching the Olympics a few years ago. And I was watching, I don't remember who I was with, but they were doing swimming and stuff like that. Michael Phelps, obvious world champion, guy's
amazing
insane. Guy. But he got out of the water and you looked at his back and all those muscles throughout the shoulder. And I was just like, that guy's got muscles I've never even heard of, like he's ripped in the back, like his back is just insanely
crazy.
Toned.
But maybe if you saw him power lift, maybe he couldn't do it because those are different muscles as well.
And so it's just things like that. We work different types of the body.
And it's really important not to just stick with one, but be able to do different workouts as well.
Like
CrossFit. Exactly.
Yeah.
CrossFit, it's really important. I like to call it cross training, where you do different sports, do different types of workouts, which help you physically. But for me, karate is always a home base.
Yes.
It works definitely muscles that maybe I don't use when I'm playing tennis or volleyball.
Yep.
And then I remember one time I came back from karate for the first time after 2 years, and holy cow,
those muscles are sore.
Yeah, they were sore.
Especially right in
the thigh and then the inside of the leg, which I almost never use.
Yep. There's not a lot of sports that really get the use out of the inside of the leg there.
Yeah.
But karate, that's one of them. The stances we use, the things we do, require that inside muscle here to be very, very toned and very, very in shape, I guess. Because that muscle, I don't know if you know, pulls really easily.
Yeah, it does. I've done it. I've done it a couple of times.
It's up through the groin here.
I've done it a couple of times.
It hurts, first of all. But if this muscle isn't stretched out, especially for karate, you're going to seriously injure yourself, right? Definitely. And there's not a lot of sports, lifting, you'll tear and pull stuff and like that. Other sports, you'll do the same thing, right? But karate, I would say, it has those extra little things in it too. You're not just going to be, torn apart by doing something, right? Somebody else is going to beat you up too. Right? And there's not a lot of sports you can get that, boxing, MMA anymore, those are big things, Big things. But I would kind of classify those in the martial arts realm.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Boxing, maybe not so much.
I would.
I mean,
kickboxing, boxing, those are all considered martial arts.
Are they really?
Yeah.
I didn't think boxing was considered a martial art. I thought it was more like an American.
What would you classify it as?
Not a martial art.
Really?
Because
Because you know where boxing came from, the idea?
it was not fisticuffs. No.
Fencing.
Fencing?
Fencing.
Well, I was
The
thinking
idea
about the
of-
old style fisticuffs
Nope.
type thing. Bare knuckle brawls or boxing. I don't know.
No, fencing was one of the main ideas behind boxing. If I remember right now, people in the comics section, if you tell me that's totally wrong, please tell me if it's totally wrong. Because I remember fencing was a big part of boxing, if I remember right.
Oh,
or
man behind the cam is Googling. Hold on, let me give him a mic so he can talk if he needs to. Yeah, so he can tell us if we're wrong or not.
But either I get that mixed up with Bruce Lee's Jeet Kune Do, one of the two, because I know Bruce Lee's Jeet Kune Do did a lot of mixing of martial arts. So
yeah, I mean, did you ever watch the movie I recommended to you on Netflix? It was.
There's a lot of movies people recommended. I never watched.
It's called Into the Dragon, I think it was.
It was Bruce Lee's movie, right?
Yeah. It was.
Of course. His documentary.
Yeah, not really documentary. No? It was him fighting the monk. I don't remember exactly what it's called.
No, I haven't watched that one.
It's really good, and it shows the evolution of him, but it shows his martial art off very, very well.
Gotcha.
Like his style and stuff like that, which is really interesting to watch.
Trace has something to say now. He searched it up. I think I'm 100% wrong, actually. Let's see.
So I did not find any evidence relating to boxing have anything to do with particularly fencing.
Ah, dang it.
Okay.
It was originally, apparently, right, the first evidence of it was found by the Assyrians, which is before ancient Greece, right? And so they would have...
Was it closer to gladiator fighting?
No, that's more Rome.
Oh, that's more Rome.
No, it was two fisticuffs, basically.
Oh, you were right.
And so that then
bare knuckle brawling.
right, and it wouldn't normally be bare knuckle, right? They'd still wrap their fists.
Right.
Well, yeah,
Right.
of course. I
It's
mean,
still considered bare knuckle.
yeah,
Right,
bare
but-
knuckle. Yeah. I mean, that's coming back around. Bare knuckle
boxing.
Bare knuckle boxing is coming back.
Yeah.
It's a lot safer than actual boxing. That's for sure.
Because of the pads.
Yeah. I mean,
Yep.
the pads. I mean, you'll break your hand in boxing. You won't know until you get the pads off.
Yep. Because how tightly you wrap your hands.
Yep. And I mean, bare knuckle, you'll know how hard you're hitting. And and karate, right? We'll get back over to the martial arts side.
He's
of
not done
things.
talking.
Oh, is he? You still going?
He's still going.
Well, I'm double checking something real quick, so go ahead.
Oh,
Right ahead.
okay.
You see?
But I don't know. Moving back over to like the karate side, we do a lot of the bare, open hand stuff. Karate open hand, right? And that's kind of dangerous in some aspects. In some aspects,
because
it's very safe.
especially in our style, we strengthen our wrists
Yes.
by punching
Yep.
leather,
So-
wood with leather covered over
Yep.
it.
And I mean, relating that back to like the life in real life situation, I guess, right? Because that's the title of our episode. We're kind of moving away from that, though.
No, we're not. Anyways, keep going.
But strengthening this arm here through your arms, right? You don't realize how easy it is to break your arms, right?
Definitely.
Especially, you hear the stories of people walking around just falling and catching themselves. They
And then
snap
break
their arm,
yeah.
right? I mean, my grandma did that.
I mean,
Just
push-ups
walking-
itself, if you do knuckle push-ups, those itself will already strengthen your wrist as it is.
I mean, just building up the muscle through here keeps your arm so much more safe than any other thing you can do, right? There's not much other sports that strengthen up your forearms here.
Yeah.
Because that forearm strength protects you. It protects you from breaking your arm.
Yep.
It protects you from all those incidents that can happen if if something goes wrong in here, right?
Definitely.
But
Trace, you want to finish it up real quick?
All right, last thing. All right, just
Did you
going back
unmute
to the
yourself?
boxing real quick.
Okay.
Yes. So you were somewhat right, and Rome did go a bit more. They did do a lot of fisticuffs, right? But that evolved more into gladiatorial stuff.
Right.
But-
so I was right about that.
Yeah,
part.
but what ended up being much more popular in Greece was actually going into wrestling.
Oh,
right, because-
that's right. Yeah.
right,
yeah,
because
yeah,
it
yeah.
do a lot. Yeah, they were large fans of their olive oil.
Yeah.
So,
Mm.
yeah. No, so yeah, they became much bigger wrestlers.
So there you go. That's the thing.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Spartans were big fans of that too.
But no, physically it gives you the exercise because this then leads into
door's gonna be torn apart.
No, it's not. It's fine. I know, but if you guys can't hear it, we have a dog scraping at the door right now because he or she wants in. But it's okay. Everything's a she. Anyways, but the physical part now goes into the mental part.
Yeah.
Because if you get healthy exercise, that means mentally you would be more clear. And karate, in a way, teaches you that by breathing, because breathing is so important in karate. And then number 2, it gives you a way to express yourself.
Yes.
It's a way to just sort of let go and then just be able to relax after that. Then you'll be able to go right back to work. That same goes with gym exercising, wrestling, sports. There's a lot of that from physical exercise, you're mentally more healthy after that.
Yes. Yep.
So, of course, there's other things in life where, maybe letting go or crazy things else that are going in life that maybe, doesn't have to do with your physical state. But it will be moving physically and being physically active will help you mentally.
Yeah. And I mean, not only that, what karate can do for you, especially, is it builds up your mental strength.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you do something challenging, what's your biggest opponent if you're doing something challenging? Your own brain.
Yeah, yourself.
Right?
It's always
yourself. And what karate can do is really help you strengthen that bond between, the positive side of thinking instead of the negative.
Exactly.
Right? And like that positive side, that's going to allow you to be able to push through things in life, maybe something that's very, very difficult, something you don't want to be doing.
Definitely.
Right? Karate is going to help you have that strong bond with that positive thinking. Like, I can get through this. I can do this, things we use even to this day.
Always.
And
because if the instructor is good, that instructor will know your limits and be able to help you and push you through those limits and say, hey, you see what you just did there?
Yep.
You broke through your limits, and now you can translate that into life. And there's so many life lessons that an instructor can teach you. Even an educator can teach you.
The thing is, right, the instructor, I mean, for me, for those personal situations, those things you can teach, the best way to teach those things, I don't know about you, is personal life stories. Right?
Yep.
So, I mean,
personal life stories is one of those things that I do like to use, but I always like to use themselves as an example.
Yeah, that too.
That, like after they're done testing or something, like, do you see that? You just got it done. Congratulations. All those efforts that you do to push through will pay off.
Everything, the time you put in is not, I guess the main point is the time you put in is not spent in vain, I guess. The time you put in shows here, and I think that's what something karate does more than any other sport.
Definitely.
It builds you up as a person, not just as the athlete. Yes.
And then the beautiful part about karate, in my opinion, is anybody can do it.
Oh, 100%.
Anybody can be good in karate. Yeah, I mean, you weren't even that big.
I mean, for our audio listeners, I just motioned to my massive stomach.
But I think martial arts is very healthy as long as you go to a good martial arts studio.
Yes.
If you go, I mean,
finding the right instructor for you.
Yeah.
Not everybody is gonna. People don't mesh all the time. But mesh.
Here's always a big thing that we always like to say is no free lunches.
No free lunches.
If you get your new rank and say, oh, that was easy. Or if you go like, oh, I actually got my next rank, then something isn't quite there. Because we always want to say no free lunches. You always have to earn it.
Yes.
So.
And I mean, I have a personal experience, even very, very recently with that.
Oh, recently.
Right. One of the students that I have in one of my own classes, right. I pushed him to the limit, and after that, he was like, I heard, oh, it was difficult.
Yeah.
I didn't know how I was going to be able to come back next week and want to do this more. And sometimes I like to hear that, sometimes I don't.
Right, right.
In that situation, I was really
as long as there's some kind of, in a sense, reward at the end of it, then
it was a rank promotion.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Oh, I remember the story now.
And, it was a positive for him. During the test, right, we have kids go to formal testing, and which it means they're in front of proctors, which proctors are us instructors, right? And we write down scores on our clipboard, kind of menacingly.
Menacingly. It does feel menacingly. There's no doubt about that. Definitely.
Well, he's just standing there menacingly. It's kind of that type of idea.
Yeah,
you know?
definitely.
And the proctors are meant to kind of make you nervous. You know, that's kind of the whole idea of the testing process.
Definitely. And there's always a good way to say if you actually know how to do something. Is the fact that if you can do it by yourself, that's good. If you can do it in front of a couple of people, that's good. If you can do it in front of a whole crowd, then you know it.
Well, in front of a crowd, right? That translates to the stress, right? Karate, what we try to teach is how to deal with that stress.
How to cope with stress.
How to cope with stress.
And I think that's really important for martial arts instructors to sort of teach that part, is that stress never disappears.
Yep.
You will never get away from stress. Stress will always be there no matter what.
If you're teaching martial arts, you're teaching self-defense, I would say. Would you agree?
Oh, yeah. No, you're teaching self-defense.
And then it goes for every type of martial arts.
Every type of martial arts. Okay. But you have to also remember, in that self-defense situation, it's not going to be like, oh, let me just grab your wrist. It's a stressful situation. So you have to teach how to deal with those stressful situations.
And, like, if you don't do that in the right way, I mean, back in the day, long time ago, I was watching. My mom would show me videos. I had cousins that were in karate or some sort of martial arts a long time ago, and there's videos on Facebook of them doing their stuff. They were doing like 7 minutes of kumite or something like that, which is a lot of kumite. First of all,
a lot of kumite,
and I think he was going for his brown belt. I think is what it was. And you know, that is a stressful situation, but if you think about it, was that the right situation for that kid there? Was that the right situation? You know, we try to put kids in situations, I know, for most martial arts instructors, that they do feel uncomfortable.
Definitely.
Right? And I can see, for some kids, you know, 7 minutes of kumite, that is a very stressful situation, right? And you know,
but I mean, if you've gone to tournaments and stuff like that, then 7 minutes of kumite, I mean, is long. Yeah, but it's not stressful.
No,
unless they're like bigger than you.
I think in the I don't remember exactly the video. The kids were, it was like black belts sparring against him. You know, it was kind of like, is it the right situation for the kid? You know, for some ways it is. Maybe. Yeah, for some it is. For
we can never judge just by a video.
Yeah, no, of course not.
But then we sort of, so once you get mentally healthier, and then you're physically healthier, but then there's a part that feels like is missing. Maybe it's spiritually. Yes. And then spiritually, this is different for everyone.
Sounds like you're a hippie now, John.
It more sounds like I'm into meditation, but so quick story. There's a really good friend of mine that was studying abroad. He was a graduate student. We were living in the same host family. Oh. And then he was really big into marijuana when he was back home. He that was his way to cope with, bad relationships, stuff like that. Stress. Yep. And then when he came to Japan is very strict on their drug use. Yes. So there was you could probably find a dealer somewhere, but it's very highly that you get caught. Yeah. But, very likely. So he was, he was talking to me. I'm like, yeah, breathing really helps me calm down once in a while. I was like, breathing. Okay. And then he's like, dude, I'm got into meditation again. I'm like, oh yeah, meditation. That's, if you do it correctly, that's really good. Mm-hmm. And then, meditation allows you to really just think back and look at things. But the biggest part about meditation is how you breathe. And for martial arts, breathing. We teach breathing. You have to be able to breathe. And people say, like, you mean just, casually breathing? No, like forcefully breathing and feeding yourself oxygen.
I love this. I tell the story all the time. I was given an article at some point. My dad gave me an article. Right? And it's the old lady. Mm-hmm. The old Asian lady, and she was like 110, I think. She just turned or something like that. I don't remember exactly. I think it gets older every time I tell it. Right, but 200-year-old lady. Yeah. But they asked her what's her secret to living a long life, and first thing she said is breathing, right? And people are just like, that's really funny. But it's so true. But like, if you're going to make it to that age, right? I mean, even then, you have to know how to forcefully breathe in, breathe out, right? Keep yourself calm, I mean, doesn't stress like lead to a shorter lifespan or something like that?
I mean, you can say that about hot dogs. have you seen that news article about hot dogs?
No, what?
No, so there's a news article about hot dogs is that they take off like 2 minutes of your life or something like that.
I should stop eating. I don't eat that many hot dogs.
But I mean, okay. I mean, if we look back at it, I mean, if you break down every single thing that we just talked about, whether it's physically, mentally, spiritually, right? It helps you stay calm and be able to do those fun things.
Yes.
If you're
eat as many hot dogs as you want.
I mean, if you're constantly stressed about things in life, then take a step back and just look at the good things. And that's where the meditation comes in. That's where the breathing comes in. And then take a double look, right? And then breathe, maybe do a little bit more exercise every day, right? Yep. Change habits. And in my opinion, martial arts sort of makes you do that.
Yeah.
You have a class once a week or twice a week, and it forces you to sort of take a step back and, breathe correctly and train physically.
It's a cleanser, I would say.
That's a good way to put it.
It's a cleanser,
that's
right?
A really good way to put
it's especially my class. Our classes are on Mondays, right? That's a good cleanser, right? Monday just happened. I'm not a big fan of Mondays. I hate Mondays. Don't know why. I think that's just a thing in our society.
Don't like Mondays, yeah.
Right. But that night, I can always count on, all right, I know we're going to be doing something. Usually that's physically challenging, especially for me with a broken knee, right? I can always count on that physically challenging thing to make myself feel good after,
Definitely.
if I had a terrible Monday or something like that. So it's a good cleanser. It's something good to let you take a step back, let you realize, let me reevaluate, what I'm doing right now. Let me take a break. Let me have just a slow, I wouldn't even say slow. Let me just have a moment, where I can focus on myself, I guess,
It's always a good way, especially with college or a real work life. It's just, it hurts.
Yeah.
It hurts when you can't do things. You're just constantly thinking about it. But martial arts and just, any kind of physical activity itself, but martial arts, especially for me, it definitely just makes you think and just, okay,
yep.
I can re-up and focus again.
Oh, yes.
So,
yep.
No, I think it's a lot of good things. Martial arts is amazing when it comes to, all three of those.
Oh, all right.
Okay.
We're doing good.
So,
I mean, yeah, we were thinking this episode was a little bit harder for us.
I think it is hard because we're quite young.
Yeah,
I mean, you really look at it. We're quite young.
So we haven't gone 24. So
yeah, I'm 23. 23.
It's 2022, John. Up your age.
I still got another 5 months.
So John's 30 here in 5 months, right? Yeah. You're just preparing for 30. Like Sid said, preparing for 60, right? But on his next birthday, I really want to get him a 60. Congratulations on turning 60 card. I really want to get him that. Yeah.
But I think
I still want to see a picture with his mullet on too.
Oh, he wore it one night.
What?
Yeah.
Oh man,
it's funny. But I think in life, if you look too much at the bad things, really try to find a physical activity that can make you look at the good stuff.
Yeah,
too.
I mean, push yourself to try new things. I wouldn't probably be here if I didn't want to try something new here tonight.
Definitely.
Because podcasting was never something I wanted to get into.
Really?
To be honest. I mean, it was something like, I don't know, I could get interested in it, but now that I'm here, I love it. It's so much fun.
It's so fun.
And trying new things, it helps you grow. It helps you become a better person. It helps you just improve your lifestyle too.
And then a quick tip from my side. I just want to point this out. Even if you can't get into martial arts or physical activity, try meditation. 5 minutes of meditating a day. I'm just saying, I know it sounds really weird from saying it from a 23-year-old.
I was laughing at the dog.
Oh, you're laughing at the dog. Yeah, outside the door. But meditation helps. Even if you can't do physical activities, meditating, just correctly breathing in through your nose.
How do you correctly breathe?
In through your nose, out through your mouth, from the diaphragm, not from the lungs,
from
but
the diaphragm. Why is it so important to breathe from the diaphragm?
Oh, there were so many reasons. I remember one of our instructors was talking about it from Gashuku.
I mean, health-wise, first of all.
Health-wise, it circulates the oxygen a lot better.
Yes, right.
It circulates the oxygen.
It gets the oxygen into your blood faster, right? It's healthier. It, helps calm the mind. I think
and then exhaling brings out all of the CO2, the excess gases out, and just cleans very nicely. So,
yeah. I think we're
good.
Getting close to wrapping up here.
I think we're good.
A little bit shorter episode, but that's.
I think we hit a lot of key points quickly and nicely.
Yeah.
I think today was a good episode.
Yeah.
This was good.
So, Okay.
All right. Thank you so much for this one. Just a quick heads up. We do try to live stream every second Friday.
That's kind of changed. It's kind of a little bit off right now.
It's a little off right now, but we're
January.
trying. We're trying.
We did a live stream at the beginning of January.
Yep.
Hot sauce challenge.
It was a hot sauce challenge. That was a lot of fun.
It wasn't as bad as we thought it would be.
But maybe
it was
we're gonna
enjoyable.
up the ante a little bit in the future.
I'm excited.
Thank you so much. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter for updates, Instagram for clips and other things as well.
Hey, we have a clips channel. Go subscribe to it.
The
WMAKP Clips.
All right. See you guys in the next one.
You guys don't want to follow it.